And we are live. Testing, testing, 1 2 1 2.
You sound great, Cher.
Cool.
You sound great, Cher.
And I can hear you back. Right, let me ping everyone that we're live. Oh, and looks like Stein's been kicked out, so let's give him a quick invite. So much admin just to play a game. Maybe my job's not this admin heavy. Alright. I think we're all good to go. Cool. Perfect. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and anything in between. We are here, round 3 of the Performance Racing League. We are in Belgium. We're at the Spa-Francorchamps, one of the crowd favourites on the calendar of a track. Very unique, absolutely brilliant. I cannot wait for this. We're Premier Tier, the cream of the crop, so we're expecting some fantastic racing. And I'm delighted to say that joining me today, I haven't even introduced myself. I'm Cheryl Shaft, in case you don't recognise my lovely voice. And with me, with an even lovelier voice, is none other than Tac Delta.
Cher, you're too kind. You're too kind, mate.
Well, I had to say that if I said that my voice was lovely and yours was rubbish, it wouldn't have gone well. I'd back myself into a corner there.
Right. Well, you're certainly right. We're at Spa today. Beautiful track. Lovely sweeping corners. Doesn't get any better than this, I don't think.
No. And by the looks of it, it is glorious weather. Sun is out, sun is shining. Yeah, not much you can ask for on a Sunday. We're seeing the first few lap times pinging through. We start paying attention to that once we get an idea of what sort of times these guys are going to be throwing down. But straight out of the bat, Tac, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Any names popping up as ones to watch today for qualifying?
Well, so let's see. I'm trying to remember if he was with us in the last couple of races, but I don't think so. Callie Robb, sitting down in 16th without a lap time right now. But I'll be interested to see what Callie has in store. He's from the olden days of the PRL, and just curious to see what he can do for us today.
Yes, that is a good point. I mean, we're 3 races in. This is the 3rd race, so some of these guys are still kind of getting warmed up into it. So we might not have seen the full idea of who's going to be up there come the end of the season. I mean, we do have an early front runner leading the pack, 2 wins out of 2, which is Calces in the Red Bull. Got much high hopes for him today?
I think so. I mean, typically success follows success. Nobody stays perfect forever, so I doubt we'll see him win all, 12 or 14 races that we have this season. But yeah, success typically follows success. Kelsey's done well. He's not won any commanding races. He wasn't won by a minute or anything absurd, but he's had pretty comfortable wins thus far, so I think we'll see that trend continue.
Yes, very much so. Currently on board with his ex-teammate, Tambar, in the Alpine. Driving along. I think he's had quite a patchy season so far. Typically, I think he finished 5th last season, so definitely someone no slouch when it comes to pace. Not quite up to speed yet this season. Definitely expecting a lot more to come from this guy. He's crossing the line now. Let's see what sort of damage he can do to the board. He puts himself 2nd, and it looks like the 143s are the times to get. We've got a 143.1 is currently the provisional poll from Victor. Don't know if we'll see a 142. I imagine if we do, it's going to be pole or at very least the top 3 by the way these guys are going. But quite comfortable for Victor so far.
Yeah, there's a lot of time to be won and lost in this track. It's other than Singapore, I think time-wise it's one of the longer tracks. So, one or two corners can really make a major difference in your lap times. So, we'll see what these guys have in store. I think we'll probably get well into the 42s, may even see a 41 towards the end of qualifying.
A 41. Oh, well, that's just given me an idea for a brilliant game. Let's both predict what we think pole is going to be. Now that we've got the first kind of half of the first runs down, whoever's closest wins a prize that I'll think up when we get to that
point. So maybe the winner gets a share and the loser gets a shaft. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, I didn't even think of that. That's brilliant. There you go.
So then we can call the name Share a Shaft. That's perfect.
Yeah, so let's play Share a Shaft. What
right.
time are you going for, Tack?
Well, I've already opened my mouth on it, so I have to stick with it. I'm going to go with a 141.9.
141.9. I don't want to do that thing where I then say a 142.0 just to kind of, cover as much ground as possible. I'm going to spread out a little bit and say a 142.6. I'm going to say
142.6. All right.
Yes. Basically, what I'm saying is I have less belief in these drivers than you. That's the point I'm trying to make.
That's fair. That's fair. I would certainly agree if we were talking about, let's say friendly racing, respectful racing. I would agree, but these guys are quick. It's qualifying. They don't have to worry about the side-by-sides. So
that is true. And I will admit, obviously, with Spa being one of, I think it is the longest track in the calendar, you are right in the sense that there's just so much time you can gain because there are so many corners that you're never going to put the perfect lap time on. But yeah, I imagine this track more than any other track has the biggest difference between first run times and final run times.
What did you say you were hinging on, a 142.6?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 142.6. I think it's going to be pole.
All right, they've been logged in the chat forever.
Oh, I can't back down now.
Now we can't go back and say, I don't think.
Speaking of the chat, Chaos Druid describing my voice as dulcet tones. How very kind of you, Chaos, and that is a brilliant phrase. I don't know why I wasn't using it on Tack. That would have been a great way to introduce him in. The dulcet tones of Tack Delta. You could have a radio show, and that should be the name of your radio show.
The dulcet sounds of Tack Delta, brought to you by Tack Delta.
Exactly that. We've got Olo saying Olo does not believe there's going to be a 41. So you've already got resistance to your prediction there, Tack.
Yeah, that's something I'm familiar with, both in and out of PRL, so that's fine. We'll carry on.
If you have, you famously last season you were quoting the Fast Five, I think it was, in Tier 2, and I think those 5 ended up finishing in the top 6 in the championship. So you do know a fast driver when you see one.
Yeah. Yep. I haven't developed one for Premier Tier. I don't know that I will. In terms of speed, nobody's really stood out to me very well. I mean, yes, Calcius has his 2 wins, but you can't just have a fast one. That just wouldn't be right.
No, if we're talking on pure pace, you'd have to put Victor up there. He came second last year to Jer, who is our 3-time champion, which is no easy feat, and definitely someone that I would say is one of the favourites going into the season. I don't know, it might be interesting to look last season, but I'm pretty sure he had quite a few pole positions last season as well. So
yeah, Victor took the pole in Silverstone, and then Philip had it in Monza. So we'll see.
We'll see indeed. Let's see. Is anyone out on a lap right now? We've got Calcis. Calcis is on his first run. Quite late into the session at this point. And he's just invalidated. That is another thing about Spa. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've not put any qualifying laps in because I've invalidated 3 runs.
Yeah, it's tough. The track limits here. You want to squeeze as much speed out of the car as you can. So you push really close to the edge of the track limits, but if you just happen to creep over, then you have, anywhere up to a minute and 40 seconds.
Exactly.
If you go over at turn 1, so maybe that's about 10 seconds into the run. So you have about a minute 30 before you can even have a chance at setting another lap, and that's assuming you've got the fuel, the batteries, and the tires to do it.
Exactly that. There's nothing worse than invalidating coming out of turn 1, and you're thinking, oh my word, I have so long to go now to get back into the pits.
Yeah, and half the time you're running such low fuel that even if you do your best fuel conservation, you may not make it around with enough for another lap, and if you do, you'll be out of fuel by the end of that hot lap. So if qualifying's over, it doesn't matter, but if you still have some time to go, then no fun.
No fun indeed. Looks like, whilst we were chatting there, Victor has knocked the provisional pole time down to a 42.8, which gives him a 7/10 lead on Jesse's time in P2, which is quite formidable. And we've got a few drivers coming through for their second runs. Rusty will be the first of them to cross the line. Let's see if he can improve on his 146. He does, a 145.64. We've got... Are the McLarens giving each other a tow? Nope, they are not. Fish is invalidated. We've got Tamba is not going to be putting that lap time in. Is that a Ferrari? Victor, no, he's just done his lap. Anyone else? Aiden Jones, is he putting a lap time in? He is not. Morris has invalidated, so we're getting therefore ready for our final runs.
My prediction's not looking too hot at the moment, and with the way these guys are running, I don't know.
We've also
just go ahead.
No, you finish.
I was gonna say they're just laying down rubber so that way they can get into the 141s. That's what it is.
Sounds like you're trying to talk yourself into the lap time occurring. If you talk it enough, it might come into its existence.
That's exactly how it works. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. We've got Chaos asking in the chat what me and you are predicting we'll get in our quali. Now, I mean, me and you now racing in the same tier. I feel like that's got a little bit extra spice in it, that question.
Well, listen, I'll put it this way, and I wanted to open with this, but didn't get the opportunity. I'm sharing the commentary booth with you today because I don't think this year I'm going to be sharing the podium with you. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll go on to the next topic, I think.
Well, I mean, you say that, but you never know. I mean, Tier 2 famously is full of penalties and collisions and incidents, so I have no doubt there's going to be quite a mixed podium. I know early on in the season it's been quite regimented in terms of the personnel up there, but anything can happen. Anything can happen.
That's true. I'll take my Captain Sunday with pride and just try to hold to that, I think.
Oh yeah, I just realised it's Captain Saturday and Captain Sunday in the booth.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Point proven.
Point proven. If we put our skills together, we could achieve great things, Tack.
It would be ultimate. Yeah, we just need a little two-seater car.
Yeah, I'll do the quali lap, you do the race, and we'll be conquering Premier Tier in no time.
Perfect.
Right, let's see. So the final outlaps look like they are taking place. Dolo is actually starting his final run. 2 minutes left. This will definitely be it.
Yeah, Dalo running the fish helmet, which Moist Fish is not running. I'm a little disappointed in that. Maybe a wardrobe malfunction here.
Well, I did hear word that apparently since the last patch update, some of the helmets have been reset on people's accounts.
Ah, okay.
Which is, I'm going to, again, talk up an excuse into existence and say that is the sole reason why Fish is not wearing a fish helmet today.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with that.
And we'll see who is... Okay, so we've got Dolo who's finishing his lap now, and then we'll have Stein starting his final lap first after Dolo. So Dolo's crossing the line now. Let's see where he can put his car up into ninth position. Not bad considering he is reserving up today. And we've got...
Yeah, nice little improvement.
Nice little improvement. Good confidence booster as well. As we see Steinmeier now starting his final lap. I tell you what, Tack, I'm going to remove all of the overlay and I'm going to leave it with you to talk us through Stein's lap.
Talk us through Stein's lap. Right, so coming down into Eau Rouge and up through Radion, people think this is a tough corner. Maybe in real life it is. In the game, it's not. You need minimal steering input, keep the pedal flat to the floor. It's not as much a problem as you would think it is. Anywho, coming up into this corner, you want to try to carry as much speed as you can through this section. It's not easy because you have the right, left, right. Very easy to lose to understeer off, but if you can hold it together, it'll pay dividends on your time. That right-hander, I don't know the names, apologies, but you always trying to get through and feel the understeer. Put the pedal down through the left-hander, and now you come to the long sweeping left-hander. Looks like drops a gear, puts it back flat to the floor. That's the way I would run through here. Coming down, we're going to see a break at about the 50-meter board, down to fourth. That's a little lower than I typically go, but maybe it pays off. Coming down one more time, drops down to third gear, and here you're pretty much flat to the floor all the way to the bus stop. And that's the trickiest part about this track is it's really a slow in, fast out philosophy on this track because you have 2 or 3 corners where you exit onto a, maybe not a perfect straight, but what's essentially a straight. And you can gain or lose a lot of time there. Brakes at the 100 down to second gear. It looks good. Got to be easy on the throttle coming through. Runs up the gears, and that'll be Stein putting in a 143.6 to bring him up to 6th.
Indeed.
So pretty solid lap from Stein.
Pretty solid lap indeed. We'll see Jesse Force will be the next one to cross the line. The McLaren in the, not orange, what's the colour that they call themselves?
Papaya.
That's it. The Papaya car puts himself up to 4th. Ice Cream has invalidated, so Cali Rob will be the next car. The Prancing Horse, the red Ferrari, crosses the line. Currently in 12th. Goes up to 5th. Very big jump up there. Tambar in the Alpine will be next. The Alpine crossing the line. Can he improve on 6th position? He can. Moves up to 3rd. Great qualifying lap there. We've got an Alfa Romeo crossing the line. Morris moves up to 4th. Aidan Jones has invalidated. And that, therefore, is that.
Well, you'll get a nice share, and I will get the other prize.
I mean, we haven't fully decided what getting a shaft actually entails, so I'll leave that one with you.
This is a family-friendly show. I think we'll keep it that way.
We will indeed. So 142.8 from Victor, his second run of the day, has done enough to put him in pole position. Kaus is the only other driver managing a 142, just creeping over the line by 78 hundredths of a second. The league leader putting himself on the front row, which you'll be delighted from. So, Tack, why don't you run us through our final grid?
I'll get that done. So taking pole for the second time is Victor. Qualifying in the second position for the second time is Kelsey's. Then they're followed by Tambor and Morris on the second row. Moist Fish and Jesse Force will occupy the third. Cali Rob and Steinmeier on row 4. Row 5, we see Ankbank and Ivan Jones. Row 6, Dolo and Ice Cream, followed by Destroyer and Turtle Hopper. Rusty and Fick Adrian will follow them, and Revelation, not setting a time in this session, will round out the grid in 17th position. And that's your grid order.
Lovely stuff. Interesting as well is that Fikri Adrian set his best time on a medium tyre. I couldn't tell you why, but just an extra bonus.
Yeah, so I know on the days when you have less time to prepare for the race, I know that I've used qualifying as a way to test out the medium tire. So it may have just been from Adrian more of a testing run and less of a actual qualifying run. That'd be my only thoughts.
Good stuff. We're currently just having a slight pause as we give the drivers time to set up here at Performance Racing League. The front grid gets a 2 minutes time sequence to sort out their pit stop strategy, tyres, fuel load, all of that good stuff. So no stress.
Nope, no stress. Right, so let me put you on the spot. What's your... Well, wait, are we allowed to talk? No, I think we have to wait till they leave the grid before we talk about tire strategy, don't we? We don't want to give away any hints and clues. I think that's the rule that descended to me from the great Nico John, so we'll hold tight for that.
I mean, I'll be honest, we're both tier 2 and these guys are premier tier. I hope they're not relying on us to give them tire strategy tips.
This is true. All right, well, with that then, what would you run? What are you looking for?
7 runs of soft ending on 3 laps on the hard tires.
Okay, yes, I think that's wise.
Brilliant. Why not, Why not? Just, try something different.
You will keep temperature in the tires the whole race. Yeah, except for maybe that hard stint, you might struggle a little. But...
Be the change you want to see in the world, Every single lap is either an in-lap and out-lap or a qualifying lap. I'm doing effectively 7 pit stops this race.
Yep. Looks like the drivers have lucked out. There's no rain today either.
Yes, looking pretty clear in the sky. We haven't had any weather reports, so we might get a little bit of rain towards the end of the race if the driver's unfortunate. But as it stands, it's pretty clear out there. So yes, all good. I can tell you, driving up Eau Rouge in the wet is not something you should do for fun. So I reckon they're all delighted with the sun. As you see, the drivers now on their formation lap just to warm up the tyres, and this is perfect time to jump into tyres. Tack, what are your thoughts on what you're seeing?
Tire chat. Well, I don't have my thing set, so I don't see anything. There we are. So I see a lot of hard tire runners off the start. Only Morris, Ank, Iden, and Adrian settling for mediums off the start. So, in terms of lap count, it's a pretty short race. I think it's the shortest one we do on the calendar in terms of lap count. So, the difference between an 11-lap tire and a 10-lap tire, whether it's the mediums or the hards, is not... Well, it can be great. It depends on the tires. I haven't done my running yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a great time for us to do that research and see what the lap time difference is between the mediums and the hards. I mean, you are tempted to think... I think you're right in terms of the longevity of the tyre. We're probably going to be seeing pit stops around for the hard runners, 12 to 13, 14... around 50% of the race. I can't see many hard runners dragging it on for too long.
Right. At the same time, you want to make the most of that hard tire. So I would say maybe the hard tire runners will pit just after the halfway point of the race. Because, it should be a harder compound, so theoretically you can run it longer. And you don't want to stay on a slow tire longer than you have to, but you also don't want to... I guess in the same train of thought, you don't want to wear out a set of mediums just to try to be on a faster tire for longer. You wear them out, they become the slower tire real quick. So
definitely. I guess it all comes down to what is the pace difference between the hard and the medium tire.
The pace difference and when they fall off. Yes.
Yeah, exactly that. Right. So we see the drivers now finishing their formation lap. And a spin from the Tamba, who's been disqualified, which is not as drastic as it sounds. It just means he's got slightly colder tyres. But we're all on the grid. I believe, as you see, Revelation filling up the final spot. We've got 17 drivers all ready to go. Just need the game to update, and we'll have the first of 5 red lights. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 red lights are out. They held for so long. And away we go here in Spa-Francorchamps, round 3, Premier Tier. The game does not want to give me a good camera angle. So we'll jump on board with Tambar, who's been swapped through, and there's been a spin for Cowsies. He manages to recover slightly, but has suffered through to 4th. Morris has to go very wide, but manages to recover it. We've got a yellow flag. Looks like a couple of spinning at the back. But coming out of that first couple of turns, we've got Victor maintaining first position. Oh, we've got Morris is... absolutely caned it coming out of Eau Rouge. So I'll take that back. We've got Victor leading. We've got Moist Fish jumping up 3 positions into second. Cowsies manages to recover from that slight spin into third. Aiden Jones up 6 positions into 4th. And we've got more battling out behind. Who else has spun? It's Steinmine has had an incident. It's been action-packed coming through the first few corners, Tack.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It seems like maybe those hard tires don't hold temperature as well as they'd like. Of course, the 2 sitting in the back are Ankbank and Morris, both medium tire runners. So, yeah, it's quite crazy to see so many spins so early. But
very much so. I mean, it is a long track. So even though it does say 22 laps, as you mentioned earlier, this is a long lap. So still plenty of time for those that have maybe not had the best start in the world to recover and get something. And that's another spin. It's Destroyer. Has lost it left into the wall. That is a front wing gone. That is devastating. So we've got Tambar, Morris and Destroyer all without front wings. That is going to be devastating for them. They're going to lose so much time.
Yeah, that is a long lap. The lap without a front wing. Oh my goodness. You can't wait for it to be over, and every time you go through is another excuse me, feels like you're staring death in the face.
Very much so. I think, to be honest, I prefer death at that point. You've been down so many seconds. Because realistically, a hard set of tyres is not going to make it to the end. As we see Destroyer, Morris and Tambar all jumping into the pits. So we'll jump back on board with our leader, Victor. 7th, 10th seconds. Got one more lap without DRS to worry about behind him. I'm sure he'll be hoping to have a 1 second gap by the time he crosses the line.
Yep. So it looks like all the drivers going alternate what they had, with the exception of Destroyer. He's decided to take on your 7 soft tire strategy, going onto the softs right here on lap 2.
I need to have a look at this. Oh my word, he has. Destroyer, don't listen to me. I'm a loose cannon at the best of times.
Speaking of loose cannons, I see Dolo spinning out just ahead of our guys here.
He does.
There's another one who's taking a spin.
He does.
I don't think
he's got any damage though, so I don't think he needs to pit, which is the damaging point. As we see here, Destroy 33 seconds behind Dolo in 15th. That front wing damage is not a fun thing to be part of around here in Spa.
No. So in all seriousness, Destroyer maybe trying to stretch these softs out as much as he can and maybe swap onto a set of hard tires. If he's lucky, he'll get a safety car sometime in the next few laps, although probably not as the grid starts to separate out a good bit. Maybe just trying to stretch it out to get to a set of hards and then maybe get lucky on a safety car and get back to the mediums. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it is times like this where you are really praying for that safety car to bunch the grid back up again. As we see Ankbank overtaking Revelation, moving up into 11th position. It's the start of lap 3, so DRS
Destroyer's
has been activated.
spun it again.
Oh no, Destroyer.
He's lost it just coming into the 3rd sector.
He has. Has he got damage? I don't think he's got any front wing damage.
He doesn't have any damage, no. And his tires, actually, they're not overheated. They've actually been warmed up. So we'll pawn that off as tire warming donuts.
We will indeed, as we see the front runners all still relatively close together. Only a few drivers. It's around the 5th position down is where there's a little bit of a break. So the front 4 holding firm at the moment. Amongst there, we've got Victor, our pole sitter, and Cowsies, our championship leader, all still in with a shout of those front positions. Yeah,
this is a track where it's so nice when the pack doesn't get too spread out, because this is a very long lap. So, all it takes is you and the guy ahead of you, you start losing other people, and it's a very lonely race really quick, and that doesn't make it any easier to finish the race.
It does not. And speaking of finishing the race, we've got our first penalty for Ankbank, which is definitely not going to be something he's going to like come the end of the race. As we'll see, we'll keep it on with the tyres just so we can see those 3 medium runners in the mix of things. And we've got a yellow
Destroyer's
flag.
not.
Nah.
It's Destroyer. He's not having a good time. He's spun twice in the last. They're making it 3 times in the last 15 seconds or so.
Yeah.
He's just not having a good race.
No. I hope we don't see it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a retirement in the pits for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Fortunately, as we see Ankbank going down the inside of Rusty, makes the move stick. Unless Rusty wants to go for something through Eau Rouge, we'll see Ankbank holding on to that 10th position. We'll stay on board with Rusty, though, see if he can use the DRS and get that position back. See how much battery these two have got. Ankbank looks like he's deploying it in order to maintain position, so we'll hold on to that 10th. It looks like Jesse's overtaken his teammate as well. The 2 Papaya McLarens in 7th and 8th.
Yeah, Turtle Hopper just dropped 2 positions on the Camel Straight. Must have got a really bad exit or maybe too much of a lift in Eau Rouge.
Yes, that can be quite a bad place. If you don't get a good entrance into Eau Rouge and you have to lift slightly, you suffer all the way through the Camel Straight. As you just don't get the same acceleration.
Yeah, we had Callie Robb off the side of the track there. Must have had a spin or something to push him off. He's got it going again now, though, so all good.
All good. Morris joining the 3-second club. It looks like the 2 McLarens are ghosting into each other. I don't know if there's some connection issues or something, but they're ghosting into each other and not suffering any consequences.
So that's not what I see. What I see is they've got enough. They've got plenty of space on either side of Jesse. So who knows?
Who knows? As we see, is that Destroyer is carrying on. What a champion, Destroyer. Love that from you.
Yeah, we do like to see guys definitely push through the tough times, and that's why we award points all the way down the grid.
We do
so long as you finish the race. So.
And speaking of tough times, Morris has had another spin, which means Tambo has moved up into 15th position. Those front 4 have really spread themselves out now, so we've got a 6.5 second gap between 4th and 5th. Really is looks like a podium amongst these 4 drivers, which we love to see. They are holding firm. We then seem to have Jesse, Ice Cream and Turtle Hopper very close together. And to be fair, the rest of the pack down to Revelation very, very close to each other. So anything can happen here. It's anyone's to win and it's anyone's to lose.
Yeah, so I've got Morris into the pits for medium tires. Did Morris have some damage? I must have missed something.
I don't think he did have any damage. I'm not sure.
Where do you have him? I have him, for some reason I have him first.
Morris, I have 16th currently.
Alright, that sounds a little more accurate.
Yes, as it looks like, is that Destroyer again? Ah, Destroyer. Just not your day. What I might do though, and forgive me those in chat, looks like we've got some intel, actually from the chat, breaking news. Some intel from a closed source, who I won't reveal the name, but it might rhyme with Vespa, we'll say. Says that allegedly, Kaus has hit Morris and might be getting a report after the race. Interesting. Very interesting. But we'll stick on board with Victor, our current leader. We'll drive on board with him. We'll just get an idea of how he's getting the pace out of this prancing horse. We'll see his entrances and exits, and I'm not going to lie, it's probably more for myself in preparation for the race coming up, just as much it is for the viewers to see taking so much curb on the entrance and the exit. You can see how much confidence he has in his car, that he can just ride these curbs so comfortably. comes through, the car is just moving all over the place. I don't know about you, Tak, but I don't think I'd have the confidence to chuck the car in like this.
Let's see, you're riding with Victor, right?
I am indeed.
I don't know. The way he's driving looks similar to how I would. Of course, he's doing it on hard tires. I do it in time trial, so clearly we are not the same.
No, we are not the same. I don't know. Maybe it's just the lack of confidence is in remembrance of my race here last season, where I got my, at the time, best qualifying result of my entire PRL career, qualifying second, and then on the first lap I binned into the wall. So there's torrid memories at this track.
I'm trying to remember if I covered that race or not. I think I did.
I think you might have done. Yeah, it was coming onto the long straight at the end, and the bit of wall that sticks out on the left-hand side. I just got a bit too wide on exit and just drove straight into the wall. Fun times.
Yep.
As we see, Jesse has just overtaken Ice Cream, so Jesse is now leading the second pack. The Mercedes Ice Cream is right behind him, and we'll see. He's had to lift off slightly, but still very close. So with DRS, he will have a very good chance to overtake. Jesse goes on the inside. Ice Cream feigns the outside, but ducks down the inside instead. Good little dummy there. Manages to recover 5th position. Ankbank is working his way up. He's already up to 7th position. Very good effort as we see Steinmein join the 3-second club.
Yeah, Steinmein's got the best view of all this action. I've been watching from his perspective. It's a great view.
It is. It's a dangerous view as well, though, when you're this close to a pack of cars that are constantly back and forth with each other. It's so worrying that you don't want to get caught up in the mess that can take place. As we see Ankbank overtaking Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse got a little understeery there through the long left-hander.
He did.
The corner has to have a name.
Are you doing the research now?
I'm doing the research.
As we see, I mean, Ankbank, as a fellow AlphaTauri driver, I am loving this recovery from him. This is a brilliant drive. I mean, realistically as well, if he's able to overtake Ice Cream with a 10-second gap between 4th and 5th, he can't really go for too much more. So, as we see... Goodness me, what on earth happened there? It looked like Ice Cream and Ankbank both overshot the corner. Jesse... we have got... I have just... I don't know what's happened, if it's happened for you as well, but for me, I'm getting the race finishing music.
It looks like everyone got the session.
Everyone is ghosted, and we're at a loading screen.
Alright, we'll see if we can get you back in. In the meantime, I'll give the best audio. They're still fighting back and forth. Ice Cream has now taken the lead of it. Ice Cream reserving into Premier, so well done to Ice Cream for that. But Jesse and Ankbank staying right behind. Steinmein has fallen, has slipped down a little bit. Got a little squirrely out of turn 1, or La Source. There we go. Now it's all coming back. Got a little squirrely out of La Source, so gave that position up to Cali Rob. But we still have that pack of 4 to 5 cars running through. Just a second and a half behind Moist. Oh, sorry, sitting behind Calties. Can't sit behind yourself. Dolo joining the 3-second club, as it's been named. Let's see who else we have.
I think, Tak, this is not a good sign, as apparently I cannot join the race. Yeah. No, it's not the invite. The invite's being blocked, is saying that I can't join the race anymore. I'm gonna have to. Apologies, everyone watching. We're going to have a slight technical intermission whilst I try and sort this out. Hopefully, we'll be back very, very soon.